Hello, my name is Haley Bell and welcome back to another episode of the Rooted Collective. So as intern season is starting up, we thought we would come back to you guys with some tips and tricks that we learned while applying to internships. This video specifically is how I got an internship at Pepsi. Now, full disclaimer, I did not accept the internship at Pepsi, but I was offered it. Here's proof. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about my experience interviewing at Pepsi and like what I was offered, so maybe it could help someone out there that's interested in Pepsi or Frito-Lay, Gatorade, all of those brands. I remember applying around August and I heard back fairly quick. I applied for a marketing intern role and that was just for Pepsi in general, but once I applied, they came back to me. I had an interview offer for Gatorade as well as Frito-Lay. Now, Gatorade was based in Chicago and Frito-Lay was based in Plano, Texas. And judging off like the job descriptions and kind of what the recruiters are giving me, I was leaning more towards Frito-Lay. One, because I love chips. If you know me, I love Fritos. They're my favorite. I can eat a family-sized bag in one sitting. I love chips. But also the Gatorade job was skewing more towards like the sales side of stuff, which I'm not, that's not me. But the Frito-Lay thing seemed very more like marketing and brand focused, I guess. So that's where I lean towards. I did interview for both and I can't remember if I got the offer for Gatorade, but I know I got it for Frito-Lay. I think one thing if you're applying for this job, or any job really, you need to have a cover letter that stands out. We'll go in depth in another video for our best cover letter tips and really share those practices with you guys. But for my cover letter, I included a little intro of why I was interested in Pepsi. Full disclosure, I've never had a Pepsi in my life. Like, I didn't grow up drinking that stuff. I didn't drink pop or soda, as you might call it. I don't know, I spoke on Frito-Lay mainly. I wrote about why I want to work there, and then next I took 3 bullet points from the job description and then I linked it to my resume. Not like physically, but I said like, say it was works well cross-functionally was in their job description. So I took that and said, I worked well cross-functionally when I was on a team at this club at school and I had to work with these people over here. Like, basically take things from the job description and match it to your experience. And then close it all up in the cover letter with, please pick me, please, like all that kind of stuff, why you'd be the best fit. Next, you need to tailor your resume. So if you're applying, let's say for marketing, you need to know, is it a sales role or is it more like branding, creative side? The Pepsi one I feel like was a little more creative, but still had like an analytical feel to it. So I made sure to use a lot of metrics in my resume. For example, I had a social media role on there. So I put increased brand reach by X% through doing X, Y, and Z, which resulted in whatever. So basically take that formula and just input those metrics you have, even if it's small. Say you increase the membership to your club by 5 people, turn that around and say increase membership in club by X% through doing X, Y, and Z. They really just want to see that you're making an impact in whatever role you have. Now, moving into the actual interview. I remember I had like a pre-phone screening and then I had an actual interview. The phone screening was super basic. It was like, are you okay with working in Plano, Texas? Which I honestly did not care. Tell me about yourself, blah, blah, blah. So then after that, I got the interview. I'm pretty sure this was 2 years ago. So it's like, it's fuzzy back there. The guy was super nice. He asked your basic questions, like, tell me about yourself, tell me about a time you worked with the team, all that kind of stuff. They asked something about like what makes the Pepsi brand, like why Pepsi. I essentially said that I like Pepsi because they're not afraid to enter into new spaces, they're really innovative. I mentioned how they entered into the Call of Duty scene through Doritos, and also they had a whole campaign with Brisk Mate back in the day. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about, but Pepsi is like really in that niche market and they're not afraid to keep trying in there. So I spoke on that and how they're very innovative and they're like, wow, so amazing, yes. And then a question I specifically had was something about name a brand with a good marketing strategy and like why. And so back then, crumble cookie was like the thing where I was from. I'm still from there. And I don't know what came over me when I answered this question, but for some reason, I must have been hungry. I said crumble cookie as my answer, But I think that's what honestly got me the offer, because he loved my answer. I said Crumble Cookie is a great brand because they have an innovative marketing strategy with the way they promote their products and their changing menu to keep customers excited. They build brand awareness through their pink packaging and their huge social media presence on TikTok specifically, which keeps it fresh for the customers. And then I also mentioned like they need to keep innovating or else it's gonna get stale. So make sure to like challenge your response, I guess. But the biggest thing I will say is do not, like if any company in general just asks like, oh, what's a good example of a company that has a good company culture, or just anything about, name it a company that does whatever. Do not say like the obvious answers like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Tesla. Like pick something super unique, and it shows that like you're just not doing the default answer, I guess. So that was the biggest thing that I think helped me with the Pepsi interview. One thing that really threw me off was he was like, okay, now we're gonna head into the practical section of the interview. And he was like, you're gonna have 3 minutes to go over the spreadsheet, and then we'll come back and then you'll tell me like where we lost profit and why and what areas of the country and all this stuff. And I was like I cannot do math like that. And I was not prepared. I thought I was doing like branding, marketing, fun, no math. Like I honestly have no idea what that spreadsheet was telling me, but I saw some differences in numbers and I was telling him like, just be super confident in your answer. I was like, oh yeah, they lost money here because maybe it was the wrong season to be promoting this product, and it was a huge spike in this month, February, because they're probably selling more for Super Bowl. So we need to figure out how to build hype in other months surrounding other big events so we don't see this big drop off after Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure I got that wrong. Like I don't know what I was analyzing, but I think they just want to see your thought process. So even though I got that wrong, I still got the offer. I was offered $25 an hour and a $2,000 signing bonus. Now keep in mind, this was back in 2021. So hopefully that salary and everything has gone up with inflation. But if you are offered an internship there, like, and they offer you less than that, do not take it. Try to negotiate it up. And I will say that what Pepsi does is they have their interviews super early in the year, like as soon as school starts. Because I feel like they're trying to get you in before you go off to another company and interview there, and then you have competing offers, which I did. But I just kept like delaying my exception of it because I was like, I love Fritos and this would be such a cool internship, but I do have applications at Nike and Google and I want to see what else I can do. And ultimately I did not go with Pepsi, but I would have been fine there. Like I would have had a great time, I feel like. And it's just always good to have different options on your table if possible, so you're not locked into something that you might not like. Overall, I had a great experience interviewing with Pepsi, like all the recruiters and everyone I spoke to there. They were so friendly and amazing, and if like all this other stuff didn't work out, I definitely would have been happy there, and it seemed like a great job. And people that I do know that have interned there have had a great time. So if you are interested, I definitely recommend applying. I'll make sure to put the link in the description for the applications for the internship. Yeah, let us know if this was helpful and if you want more of these kinds of videos, because we have a lot of stuff coming up planned out that we're gonna be bringing to you guys. So just stay tuned and we will see you guys in the next one. And as always, remember to stay rooted.